What's up, man? How are you?
Cool. Good. So you heard about us at Outlaw Shreveport?
Yeah, so I did Outlaw Shreveport. There was probably about 7 or 8 of us that did it together.
That's cool.
And I just randomly saw the ad online on social, and then I have a group of friends. We exclusively do CrossFit, but we've been doing high rocks too. We do long runs sometimes, and so we just look for dumb shit to do together. Yep. And I saw that, and I was like, someone sent it to us in a group, or I sent it, and I was like, hey, we're doing this, and everybody's like, yep. And so it's a group of like some of people that work out with me, and then we work out at CrossFit Gym, and there's a group of us that are always doing crazy stuff there too. So pretty much if you find anything that's against the grain, we're probably going to sign up for it.
Yeah,
we did a little Christmas run this past Thursday, 5K downtown, but I was able to talk like 20 people into doing it. Like my dad and stepmom, was their anniversary. I was like, y'all come do it. They've never done a 5K. They walked it, but they had a good time. So, man, just anything like that where we can get, get some people together, get some community, and do something hard together,
Yeah. So you got 10 of y'all to go out there and do the Outlast. Yeah. And then did all y'all finish it?
Yes. Every single one of us finished it, man. It was horrible. I barely finished it, dude, because I started locking. I just done high rocks the weekend before. Okay. So like I started locking up on that last lap, and and it was muddy and raining, so you know how that makes it too, because your stabilizer muscles you're using some that you normally don't use, Yeah. But so I mean we enjoyed it, man. I love that what y'all put together with that. Tell me how did all this start, and like what's your background on all this? So.
Yeah, so it's actually really cool. So Outlast was something that springed off of what we originally do. Our main thing that we're known for is trail and ultra marathon running events, and so we'll put on trail and ultra marathon races at state parks, national forest. And that's how we started. And then I guess it was 6 months ago, it's kind of a crazy story how Outlast came about. I guess I'll talk about it real quick. Yeah, so I'll explain what Outlast is. So for people listening that don't know, Outlast is where you run a 5K every hour in under an hour, and you do that for 6 hours in a row. And if you complete all 6 5Ks, you get this cool Outlast medal that says one 5K 1 hour for 6 hours, and you outlast. So it's a challenge. But so for the past 5.5 years, or for the past 5 years, we've put on trail and ultra marathon races. And I've always had this idea in my mind of like, what if we put on an event that you can just do everywhere? That's very much copy and paste, but also something people would like. And so about 6 months ago, it was in June. I was driving around with my wife in Tyler, Texas, and we were at the shopping center. And when we were at the shopping center, we were going to go shopping, but we didn't have money. So I didn't like the idea of going shopping. But when we were there, I had this burden on my heart to like figure out an event style that we could do everywhere, nationwide. That's cool, and that would work. And so I remember I was sitting in the car and I was like, I got to figure this out. I was talking to her, and like we were trying to walk around and shop, but the whole time we're walking around shopping, it's like we need to do something that we can do everywhere nationwide. That's a small event, as far as like it's kind of easy to host in a way. So I remember we were in Bass Pro Shops in Tyler, and I stopped her and I looked at her. I was like, we have to figure this out. And it was this whole 2-hour ordeal. So we hopped in the car. We didn't buy a single thing, because the whole time I'm trying to figure out this outlet, or at the time I didn't know what it was, but some sort of like series events that we could do everywhere. So on the drive back, I'm using AI and ChatGPT to kind of help me out a little bit. And I used ChatGPT, and I was like, I told ChatGPT what I was trying to do and like the event I was trying to create. And I was like, what's something that like everybody could participate in, that's still a challenge, but also something that like people that 18 miles is nothing, what's something that can still be challenging for them? And ChatGPT was like, you can do one 5K every hour for 6 hours. I was like, that's a great idea, let's do that. And then I was like, what are some cool name ideas? And ChatGPT gave me a bunch of different names, and Outlast was cool. So I was like, let's do Outlast. And then I was like, all right, make me a logo. So I made the logo. Just ChatGPT created Outlast. But the reason I bring that story up is because Outlast has been the biggest thing to ever happen to our business. So these trail and ultra marathon events that we host, we would bring in, a little bit of profit from those, but it was really hard to scale because each trail race we do, each ultra marathon we host, it has all these different distances and locations, and it has its own event name. So like if you go to our website right now, texasoutlawnrunning.com/races, if you go to our race schedule, you'll see 20 or 30 trail races. Each one has a different logo and a different name.
Right.
Outlast, one logo, one name, same rules everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a lot more simple. And so with trail and ultra marathon races, that's hard to scale nationally. So like my idea growing the company originally was like, we're just going to do trail and ultra marathon races nationwide. We're going to go big in that. And I quickly learned that's very difficult to scale. So when I created Outlast, I was like, okay, this is very easy to scale. It was very profitable. People really liked it. And so the event you came to was actually, I think, our only third or fourth ever event. We just did one in Austin this past weekend.
How'd that go?
Amazing.
How many people did you have?
We had over 300.
That's awesome. I think you had around 100 at this one.
100 at Shreveport.
But the weather messed it up too because a lot of people bowed out last minute.
Weather, and then we also, if there's any business people listening, we also, I'm kind of jumping all over the place.
No,
but
you're
that's
good,
okay.
dude. I got you.
Do you know who Alex Hermosi is?
Yeah.
Okay. He owns acquisition.com. Okay. I went to a scaling workshop in Vegas a few weeks ago. Okay. And they looked at my company and they were like, they kind of looked at it and they said, hey, like, to grow your company, just double your ad spend on Facebook, Meta ads. I was like, okay. So like, I flew back from Vegas after that workshop, doubled my ad spend, and then from what I've seen so far, crazy. So, and that's how you found out about the event, Facebook ads. But I did that for Austin, so we were able to get a lot of people at Austin. So the cool thing is now we're kind of at a point to where I think we have 16 Outlast events on the schedule for this year so far. And the really cool thing about that is we're able to make each one better compared to like if we put this event on once a year, we would only be able to improve once a year. But if we're having this event every 2 weeks, we're able to improve the event every 2 weeks. And so we're able to really improve these events rapidly. So Outlast Austin was cool because for the first time, we finally got our timing system working where you like run over a mat. We had a photo booth. People were taking pictures in front of it. It was this big 10-foot photo box. People were taking pictures in front of it. And we had a live results screen where people can like, when they finish a lap, they can look at the TV screen and it kind of scrolled and showed everybody's results and they could see what place they were in, what their splits were for each 5K. And so like each event's improving, and I expect the event to be, right now we're just trying to maximize quality and quantity of events as far as what's the maximum amount of people we can have at an event and how can we maximize their experience.
Yeah.
That's our current focus. You look at High Rocks, right? Okay, so High Rocks, they did that.
Yeah, man, it's the most efficient thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
but they've spent years. I mean, it's been around since 2017. There's a craze just now coming, the past 2 years. But efficiency is in the scalability, man, in the amount of money. Like, just it's insane what that company's done in the past just 3 years.
Yeah, and like something they did. If you look at kind of how they started where they are, is they took this event and they were like, how can we make this even better? And they kept doing that. That's what we're doing. We're like in that stage. So like, it's funny because like the Outlast Shreveport that you ran, next year is going to be a completely different race. It's going to be more people. We're going to have like, the vision is we're going to have these big LED screens with the results on them. And we'll have like almost like a village you walk into for the race. So like next year.
It's like vendors and stuff like that? Or
kinda,
sponsors or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but we're really going to make it, we're gonna kind of make it feel like a village, and it's more so gonna be like us.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
cool.
our stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have like our bid pickup, our merchandise, but that's
Gotcha.
the vision behind it. Is when you walk in, it feels like you walk into an arena, and then we'll have the start finish line, and so when you finish, you have this big village and hang out in. So that's the vision. That's the goal. But if you run it again next year, it's going to feel different.
I'm going to have to, man.
So
pretty much you got me locked in now, dude.
And we're thinking about adding on an event called Outlast Ultra that we do to where we'll offer a 12-hour and 24-hour.
See, I like that idea because we do something similar, and hoping no one steals this idea, but they do, whatever. So every year we kind of put this together. There's probably the core 10 or 12 of us, and it's something that we do at stadiums. So we do a stadium challenge. Have you ever seen the documentary, the One More Mile documentary? Have you seen that where he runs it's that redheaded crazy dude who does all the ultras.
Okay, Chad, right?
Yeah. Have you seen that documentary?
Yeah.
So where he's talking crap the whole time, it's an Outlast race pretty much, but it's just up.
Last person standing.
Yeah, last person standing.
Yeah, we do put on a last person standing.
Okay.
It's called the Backland. It's in December. We just had it, but it's actually a Texas-sized loop.
Okay.
So the typical last person standing race has a 4.1 mile loop, and you have to finish that in an hour. Ours is a 4.5 mile loop. I call it a Texas-sized loop. That event sells out every year, but that's a legit last person standing. The guy this year went 108 miles. It took him 24 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff you could get me. I'm not going to do 24, but you could get me on 12. But
Yeah.
we do one with stadiums. We've mapped out a mile. So you're doing a mile of stadiums.
Oh, okay,
and so this year I went 19 miles before I just gave out. And so we do it every 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes to complete a mile. You can run, walk, whatever. It's similar to Outlast. And then whatever time you have left, you can rest and you start that other mile every 20 minutes. And then after I can't remember what it is, every 4 or 6, there's a 20-minute split. We built it kind of like that documentary he was on.
Yeah.
And but dude, it's insane. So I think my wife got to 28 or 29 miles this last year. But you talk about kill you, man. It was horrible because we started like 6 a.m. and I think we ended up people start falling off, and we do it the hottest time of the year too. Because if we don't, people are going to last longer. So we do it in June or July. I think typically June. It's usually 100 degrees. It's at airline. There's no shade. And it's horrible. And people start falling off around noon.
Yeah.
And then by 1 or 2, man, it's 3 or 4 people left, and it's not fun anymore. And it's just so we do that every year, and it's one of those things. It's just I feel like we have to do hard stuff at least once a month now.
Yep.
Just to kind of test our mental fortitude, I guess.
Yeah. Next year, I made it a goal next year to do at least 1, if not 2, really hard challenges. I try to do every year. I'll try to do just 1 really tough challenge. Physical challenge.
So how did you get in? So do you race? You ultras? What's your background?
Yeah, my background. I grew up in Gainesville, Texas, and it's kind of a small town. I grew up there, and then I went to college at Southern Arkansas University, which it's not far from here. I think it's an hour from here.
It's in Magnolia?
Yeah, Magnolia, Arkansas. So I went to college there, and I ran cross country and track. My freshman year of college is when I started the company, and I started just putting on a few races because I was a trail and ultra marathon runner, and so I was a college cross country and track runner, long distance, but my heart was in trail and ultra marathon races. That's just what I liked. I liked going out and running in the woods, and I liked running really hard, far distances. So that's my freshman year of college. I wanted to create a business around something I really enjoyed, and so I was like, let's just do trail and ultra marathon races. Why not? Let's do that. Let's do coaching. Let's do merch, and that was my thing. And so I started the business. I think it was 2 weeks into college. I started the business. At the time, it was a Texas Outlaw Running Company. But
What year is that?
August of 2020.
Okay, so not too long ago.
Yeah, it was 5 or almost 6 years ago. I don't know. Yeah, almost 6 years ago. So I started the company in my dorm room there, and I just did a few trail races. The original name was Texas Outlaw Running Company. I became a Christian in December of 2020, so I changed it to Texas Outlaw Running Company.
Sounds a little better.
Yeah, instead of Texas Devil. So anyways, I went to college and grew the business while I was in college. Graduated college a year early in May, and then I also got married at the end of college. And then my wife and I, we moved to, I feel like God called us to Longview, Texas. So we moved to Longview, Texas, and we lived off the business. And that was a really hard year, physically, mentally. emotionally. I'm sure you know, as a business owner.
Yeah, man, I get it.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I got a video of me actually crying on my couch, being like, I'll either look back at this and be like, this is the moment I broke and gave up, or this is the moment where I kept going. So, but anyways, yeah, it was rough. Just like
builds a better relationship too.
Yeah. It was
if you can make it through it.
It was like 80, 100 hours a week, making $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's what it was. But by putting on so many events, I was able to hire my first employee. We actually have this thing where we don't call them employees. We're not employees. We're team members and team leaders. So hired my first team member. Probably a year or two after moving to Longview, hired our first team member. His name's Asher, and he's a race director. He does races for us, and he has been with us for a year and a half now. Yeah, he's been working with us for a year and a half now. So hired him, and then a year later, hired on a full-time, or actually at the time, a part-time production person to like make our shirts and medals for our events. And that was in June. So within the 6 months, we literally our business just grew exponentially because of Outlast. Because I got the idea for Outlast in June. I hired on our production team member in June, and then when I started Outlast, it blew up, and we needed more staff.
Yeah.
So literally in the past 6 months, we've hired like 4 people.
That's awesome.
So now we have a team of I always lose count. I don't know, 6 to 8 people.
Yeah.
But our business has grown crazy. We finally hit our growth curve after 5 years. It's like we finally hit our curve. We finally found something that's like gonna grow their business. So Outlast is kind of my focus.
Okay.
I was in the trail and ultra marathon game, and if anyone wants to get into that and try to be a race director in that, good luck. Number 2, even if you get to a point like I did where you can do it full time, it's still extremely difficult because each race is so different. It's a lot less profitable. So Outlast is our future. So my vision with Outlast, I want to take it nationwide. I already have plans starting in 2026. Lord willing, I'll move my wife and I and our family. We have a baby and another one on the way. So we'll have two by next year, 2 little kids. But my vision is to move next year to a new region in the U.S. for a few months, start up a location, move back, and then just try to take this thing like nationwide while still maintaining quality. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing. It's just like keeping that quality consistent. So, yeah, that's a little bit about my background.
Okay. Well, so
yeah.
Josh, will you pull up that his website real quick? I want to look at this schedule. This is TexasOutlawRunning.com/races. Is that what it?
Yeah, TexasOutlawRunning.com and then /races.
I'm gonna go check out this Outlast schedule. And I really want to give you a good plug, because here's the thing. Just pull up the schedule and click Outlast.
Click that register and tour info right there. Yeah.
So just because I ran it, I immediately was like, man, after I got that email with the results, I was like, man, I got to figure out who's putting this thing on.
Yeah.
Because I really wasn't sure. And I was like, I want to talk about this because I really think, one, I think it's a genius business model. But 2, just like, it's inviting for anyone who's just a road runner who likes to do a 5K, mm-hmm. or anyone that thinks they're maybe potentially training for even a marathon or a half marathon. Because if you're a road runner, you're not trail running and road running is 2 different things, right?
Correct.
And I've ran with both of them. I've ran both types of races. Fortunately, a group of friends again taught me into doing a half marathon this past January 2nd or January 1st, and we had, of course, celebrated the night before, so it was a rough half marathon for me.
Yeah.
But I always get roped in these things. I'm really not a runner because I'm just a larger frame guy, but like I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge, and sometimes I hurt myself a little bit. But
yeah.
I wanted to just point out that, yeah, it's inviting for everyone. Like you can sign up for it. You can see how long you can make it. And then being that you go from road running to trail running, man, it's the incline, the elevation, the stability, all that stuff. I noticed in that race too that it was raining that morning. It was very cold. We're slipping everywhere. It's like you're trying not to bust your ass. What are those? So let's pull up the locations you got coming up.
So this it's funny because Outlast, attracts a completely different type of person than we get at our trail and ultra marathon races. So in a way, we have two businesses in one business. So we put on trail and ultra marathon races, but then we put on Outlast, and they're two completely different things. They're similar in ways. Like we learned how to do Outlast through trail and ultra marathon, but Outlast is really cool because it allows people to experience trail running for the first time, and it also does it in a way that's kind of deceiving because people see, oh, 1 5K in under an hour, I can do that. But then they get out there and they're doing 15, 20-minute miles because they're running through mud or rocks. And then it's like, oh, this is harder than I thought. And so...
Or like me, I'm doing a 30-minute for the whole thing, 30 minutes, man. But, yeah, I guess you said 10-minute miles.
Yeah.
Well, for that, you have... So, let's see here. What do you have coming up? So, you just got finished Austin.
Yeah, we got New Orleans coming up.
New Orleans on the 20th. Then you have Corpus Christi, January 10th.
That one's actually called Outlast Gulf of America because it's on the beach.
In Corpus?
Yeah, in Corpus.
Nice, that's cool. And then you got on January 24th, you have Houston, February 7th, Nacogdoches, February 28th, San Antonio, and then you're hitting Mississippi too. What on that?
Jackson.
Nice. March 7th, March 21st, Oklahoma City. So you're covering all the South, bro. I like it. Like April 4th, Wichita Falls, 418, Little Rock, 5-2, Tulsa.
Yeah, we're kind of learning what cities do well and what cities don't. It's super funny because, like, I think it was in Memphis, we had, like, 100 people, but then Austin, or, like, Houston, for example, I think it's going to get to 400 people.
Yeah, I could see why. I mean, just because Austin, like, one, the population, and then two, you have people there that are just in better shape.
Yeah.
You know, a little more active too. And I mean, and that can afford to spend a little bit of money on a race. What are the entries on that?
We actually just increased them for most of our races that are selling out because they're so popular for some reason. I still can't figure out why. But
well, it's just a perfect storm. I just think, like you said, you're able to introduce someone to trail running.
Yeah.
But you also, it's conceivably, it's misconceiving because you're like you said, oh, this doesn't sound that bad. And I thought the same thing. And then by the sixth, and I didn't think I was going to finish. I was like, I'm just going to do it with these crazy idiots. And then I'll do it until I feel like not doing it anymore. And I'm like, well, if I don't finish, then I'm just going to sit here and wait on them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I might as well finish. And then, dude, I almost had to walk half of the last 5K. Like, that's just how bad I was hurting,
Yeah, because your legs lock up in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge people don't expect. But the average entry, if you get in, like, our regular registration, it's $100. That's, like, our regular registration fee. And that just covers, like, our cost of doing the event.
Yeah, so, man, it's a business.
Yeah.
And also, like,
at the end of the day,
if you're that kind of experience, some people are going to spend $25 to $40 on a regular 5K,
this race is 18 miles, so a half marathon will typically run you $100 to $150. So you can spend $100 to $150 to run 13 miles. On average, ours is 18 miles and it's 100. So it's a perfect middle ground.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's obviously a different format, but it's a cool challenge. So.
Well, I think you're pretty humble that you just was like, hey, yeah, man, I figured it out with AI, which that's another thing.
Literally.
So, like, AI gets a lot of people use it for mundane things, and it just doesn't, there's no result in it, whether it's just writing BS copy for your social media post or writing a blog for your website. Like, that stuff, there's nothing unique about that, and it really doesn't, it's just like, okay, you're using it for busy work. But then, like, I catch myself a lot of times in this industry where, like, I'm trying to fight against it all the time because I want everything we do to be organic, but there's a time and place where you can utilize something like that. And it's like, if you're spinning your wheels, it's just like, okay, you can't get a think tank together tonight, at spur of the moment. You can't get 20 people in the room to pass ideas around like, hey, what about this? What about this? Well, you're just asking somebody who has all the ideas already, and you're just saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What does it look like? And it works. So it's like, you're a prime example of someone utilizing, I think, in the right way. And then it's, turnkeyed in what you have now.
Yeah, we originally, it's funny because when we came up with the idea, we were like, hey, we're going to do this. It was like, all right, maybe we'll get 50 people. Like, maybe. Like, it was an idea of, like, we didn't even know if it was going to work.
Where was the first one at?
First one was, I think it was Fort Worth, maybe.
What did that course look like?
Yeah, it's funny because all the courses kind of vary. Some are a little longer, some a little shorter, some have more elevation.
This one we did had quite a bit of elevation once you've kind of factored in.
Yeah, y'all had the toughest one out of all of them.
Shout out.
Yeah, but no, the one in Fort Worth, because we were going to put it on mountain bike trails, but it rained and they shut the trails down. So they actually lucked out. They got to get, I think almost the whole thing was paved.
Okay.
But there was tornado debris because a tornado came in the night before, which is another crazy story. But
I want to hear it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is probably the worst thing that's ever happened to us in the 5.5 years of doing events. But we set up for Outlast Fort Worth Friday, and we're in downtown Fort Worth area. And anyways, we set up. And there's rain on the radar for the morning, and so we're kind of just watching that. As long as there's like no lightning, it's fine. And so we go to bed, and right before I go to bed, I'm scrolling on Facebook, and I follow this meteorologist, and the meteorologist is like, hey, there's a tornado touching down in whatever, Texas, some town. So I looked it up, and it was right by Fort Worth. I was like, oh. And then I looked at where the tornado was on the map, and I saw it was moving straight to where we set up for our event. I was like, crap. And this is, I want to say it was like August, September, October. No, it was like September or October. So it was kind of random. And I'm watching this, and I'm staying an hour and a half away. I'm in like Frisco. And I'm watching this on my phone, and I watched the tornado go, like on the radar, go straight over where our event is. I was like, crap. We had like 15 tents set up, like, I was like, crap. So I texted our race director, Haley, and I said, hey, a tornado just went over Fort Worth. You need to go check on our stuff. And it was like, at this point, it was almost midnight. So she didn't think too much of it, but she went and checked anyways because I asked her to. And she pulls up, and she sends me a video, and we posted it on our Instagram. But on the video, she records it, and all the tents are completely destroyed and demolished. They're flown across the park. And it's just pouring down rain, and we're kind of thrown for a whim. So I tell her, I said, hey, listen, I'm going to wake up at super early. I'm going to go to Walmart at 6 a.m. when they open, and I'm going to buy a bunch of tents, and then I'll come up there. So anyways, she calls. I get the tents the next morning. She calls me, and she said, hey, I was leaving my hotel, and someone busted the glass on our work truck and broke in.
Dude, I heard that. I was hoping you were going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I heard a little bit about it there, and I was like, oh.
So someone busted in our work truck, and we didn't even realize it at the time, but they stole our timing system, which is like a $3,000 machine. They saw the timing system was in a backpack, and they saw the backpack and stole the backpack, but they probably opened it and was like, what the crap is this? But so they stole the timing machine, and they used a crowbar to bust in our window, and it was in a hotel parking lot. So it was, anyways. So then we get to the race, and someone stole the box that had the bibs in it.
God, man.
So all of our tents got destroyed.
This is the first one?
I think this is the first one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think it was. All of our tents got destroyed, and someone broke into our truck, stole stuff, and then we got back and someone stole our bibs and stuff because we had it at the event site. Oh, and they stole our Texas Outlaw tent. So if you see a homeless camp with a Texas Outlaw running tent,
go take it back.
Yeah, that's if you're in Fort Worth and you see a Texas Outlaw running tent in a homeless camp, that's how it got stolen. So they stole that too. So anyways, I got insurance and all that stuff after, but they stole everything, and it was just terrible. And Haley called me, and she was like freaking out. I think it was one of her first races, and she's a brand new race director, and this is like the worst thing that could ever happen. And she called me, and I was like, listen, all you need are 4 things to put on a race. You just need course markings to make sure everybody knows where to go. You need timing to where you can track people's time. You need to make sure people get medals or finisher medals and their T-shirts. And then you just need to make sure you have aid station food. And that's another thing that got stolen was our aid station food. So so that same morning I went and got tents and food. So anyways, so we ended up having those 4 things. Luckily she had extra bibs in the trailer, thank God. And I got the food. Course markings were fine. Tornado didn't mess with those. And then I got the tents. And so race morning people are showing up. We're setting up tents. and pulling out bibs out of the trailer. So anyways, right before the race, I tell everybody that showed up, and we had like 200 people. So I tell everybody what happened, but then I tied it into kind of a motivational speech, and I kind of told everybody, like, and I did that on our Instagram post as well, but I told everybody, I said, hey, you know, when you feel like you get hit by a tornado, when you feel like somebody just hit you in the face with glass or whatever, I was like, no matter what, push through it, keep going. And my kind of attitude the past 3 to 6 months, and ever since that happened, my attitude towards everything is like, when someone knocks me down, I'm gonna get back up and push back 5 times harder, even if I'm gonna lose. It's like, I'm gonna give it everything I got. That's kind of my thing. It's like if someone pushes back, I just push back 5 times harder. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my mantra. That's what I preach. So like when we're at races and we'll do like a little pre-race motivational thing, that's something I'll talk about. I'll be like, you're going to feel like you get knocked down 3 times, get back up 6 more. And that's kind of my attitude towards everything. Because at the end of the day, man, I don't have anything to lose. Like, if I lost my entire business today, I could just start another one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, that's a great attitude to have. Most people don't have that attitude, right?
Like, I fear nothing, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding when I say I fear God. Like, that's the only thing I fear is God. Like, I can lose everything today and still be content. Because think about this. This is kind of a really powerful, I guess, internal thing. But the one thing you can never take away from a man is his faith. You can't rip that out of him. You can literally take his family, his business, his livelihood, strip him naked, and just do like crazy stuff to him, whatever. You could do anything, but you can never take the faith that's inside of a man. Like, you can't take that out because it's spiritual. It's not physical. So nothing physical can come against that. And that's kind of where I'm at in life. It's like if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I'm a pretty strong Christian and I post some strong stuff. People don't like it, but at the end of the day, like, I have nothing to lose.
And that's your perspective. I mean, there's nothing to do. That's what's in your heart. And and to be, how old are you?
23.
So that's a great attitude to have at 23. 23, I didn't have that attitude, man.
Yeah.
I was working full-time oil and gas and just grinding all the time, blowing my money, drinking too much, fighting, just you name it. At the same time, I was training, I was cutting weight for fights. At the same time, I'm drinking. Like, I had a rough lifestyle. So like the fact that you're already you're in a great point at this age, and also you have a good outlook, you have a family, like all that stuff, and you're putting on events that are successful, man. I mean, I feel like you have the right attitude, and a lot of people, they go a whole lifetime and never even look at life that way, But it's a great point, and I agree with you there. I mean, I could lose everything tomorrow, and I would be perfectly fine with it. I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. Don't get that confused with, I'll throw it all away. No, I'm saying that once you've kind of started from the bottom and seen everything grow and built it, and you put all the time in, you know what it takes to do it. So, no, you don't want to lose it, of course, but if you do, it's still something that you can do again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something people don't talk about enough, I don't think. I think that people are so scared that one wrong move is going to destroy everything they built. Typically, it's not. Typically, it's what makes it better. You know what I mean? Because you learn from that, and then you just grow,
So something really cool I want to share with you. So in January this year, I was a kind of in the closet Christian, where I just didn't publicly share the word of God and just like stand on its truth. Because you'll have a lot of people that share God's word, but they'll sugarcoat it. And I mean, there's stuff in the Bible that like it's raw, it's bold, it's like ouch, but I mean it's truth. And like so in January I put a post out. This was before Outlast, when we were just doing our trail and ultra marathon races. And if you're any way familiar with trail and ultra marathon events, the vast majority of trail and ultra marathon runners, from what I've seen, are very much left wing, not very religious. That's just very much what the trail and ultra running community is. Majority.
Why do you think that is?
I think the type of person to go out and run 100 miles, someone that's willing to do something as insane as that, and I'm an insane person as well as when it comes to doing physical challenges like that. But I think the type of person it takes to do that, it's just mentally, I don't know, I really don't know why.
Well, I'm just curious because I'm not in that space. It's more like I'm in the CrossFit space, and there's still a lot of crazy people doing, when it comes to stuff like that. But like, there's a good mix, I think, in that space. But I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like I don't know why it is.
I just figured
that way, but I really don't know why. That's just what I've seen. I think trail and ultra marathon running is really big in the more left-wing, less religious states.
Well, that has something to do with it then too.
And that's where it was popular first.
Yeah.
It was popular there before it was popular in Texas. Like it was popular in California, Colorado.
Right. Okay.
Okay. It was popular there way before it was popular in these states. Like trail and ultra marathon running in Texas is a new thing as of 15 years ago. Like it became popular by Rob Goyen back in like 2015, and then he made it popular in Texas. And so it's relatively a new sport, popular sport in Texas. But yeah, I think because their origins were that is why it is the way it is. So anyways, I've been race directing at this point January for going on 5 years. So I got a lot of trail and ultra marathon runners that run my races that follow me. And so when I start posting Christian stuff and just posting the pure, raw word of God, and it wasn't hating or anything. It was, loving on people. And so anyways, when I posted some stuff, a lot of people from like the Dallas-Fort Worth trail and ultra marathon running community, they just came at me and they were like making it this bigger thing than it was. They were taking it out of context what I was saying. And I'll tell you what I said. What I said was there's a lot of pastors in the pulpit that'll preach against the LGBTQ and all this. They'll preach against that, but they won't preach against people that are sinning in their own church. Like they won't preach on drunkards, or they won't preach on pornography, but they'll preach on they'll be all against LGBTQ, but they won't preach on that because people in their own church struggle with that, and so they're not willing to offend the people in their own church. It's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of getting at, like, if you're going to preach one, preach it all.
Yeah.
And so
rightfully so. I think that's a good perspective.
Yeah, and I was in a way, I was defending the LGBTQ against getting attacked by the church, because I don't believe LGBTQ should be attacked by the church.
I don't think anyone should be attacked. That's the goal of Christianity, right?
Right. They're not to be attacked; they're to be loved. And so that's kind of the heart behind it, right? So I make this post taken completely out of context. They think I'm comparing LGBTQ people to drunkards and people who watch porn, and they just take it and twist it. I was doing it out of a heart of, like, we should love these people, not just come against them and not address the own people in our own church. So anyways, I posted that post. I kind of put it out there, and it's just taken the wrong way and just negative stuff. My mom, dad called me. My grandma called me. They're like, you need to delete that. You need to delete that. I was like, I can't delete it. It's truth. And I can't be ashamed of the word of God. I can't delete it.
Why do you think they wanted you to delete it? Because they didn't want you to receive any more persecution over it?
They didn't want my business going downhill. Right. And then, I had a wife and a baby. They didn't want me to lose my business. Yeah. And so I kept it up, and I kept posting more stuff. It's one of those things. I get pushed back once, I push back harder.
Let's go.
But no, my heart behind it is, like, really and truly, like, I believe that everyone outside of the church needs to be loved unconditionally, and let them know that the love of God is there for them, and there's a lot of freedom and peace they can find in God. And that's my main message, right? And then my second message is really against the hypocrites in the church, people that say they live for God, but their life doesn't reflect it. And that's the biggest thing that turns so many people off from Christianity, is because they'll see somebody that says they're a Christian, but then they're turning around doing things contrary to the Word of God. And so my heart and the biggest thing I think people misunderstand is, like, everyone outside of the church that doesn't claim to be Christian, they need to be loved, and let them know there's a lot of peace and there's a lot of great things that come with finding the Lord Jesus Christ. But when it comes to the actual inside the church, like, if you're a born again Christian, you claim that you're a born again Christian, and you're a pastor, or you're somewhere on the church staff, the Bible calls us to live to a certain standard. And if you're not living to that standard, I literally read it this morning in 1 Corinthians chapter 5. There's a guy who's living in sin, and because he's not repenting and turning from that sin, Paul says, cast him out of the church, so that way when Jesus returns, he might repent and come back. He said, cast him out and let him be with the devil. Let him be in his own pigsty. And that was really hard, a really hard thing to read in the Bible, but that was directed at someone in the church who knows the Word of God, who knows what it says, but they're living contrary to it. But he says in the same sentence, don't even eat with such a person. But this is someone who's a hypocrite in the church, is what Paul's talking about in the Bible, right? So you got someone in the Bible who's a hypocrite in the church, and Paul's like, don't even eat with that person. Like, they're a hypocrite. They're not living for the Lord. But then he says, for the people outside the church that are living this way, love on them, accept them. So it's really more so a standard of like, love everybody in the world, right? Let them know the love and peace of Christ. But in the church, as far as if they know the Word of God and they're truly following Christ, and
just call them out on their bullshit.
Yeah,
it's kind of what it sounds like.
Exactly.
Call them out on their bullshit. Excuse my language, but like, call them out on their bullshit. And but yeah, like this is what you signed up for.
That's the two things I preach.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not a hardcore Christian. I literally work out at a Christ Fit gym. It's a huge, and there's a huge. I mean, it's a huge community. But for me, I've worked with and met so many types of nationality of people from all over the world with different religious beliefs. And for me, I believe in God, but I don't take everything. I don't look at a Bible every day and break down every single, verse and try to, overthink it. For me, it's just like, and I tell anyone that's a guest that this topic gets brought up, I just feel like you do good things happen. You do bad things happen.
That's very
It's very cut and dry, and that's how I try to live my life, because it's like, who am I to say that you're wrong because you believe something different than me? But at the same time, all I need to try to do, trust me, anyone who knows me knows I've had a crazy life leading up to the past, 5 years probably. Before that, I could tell you all kind of crazy stories. But now it's like, man, I'm just going to try to do right by everyone that I come in contact with. And I feel like that's the broad, scheme of what we're talking about here. It's just doing right by people. And like you said, loving on them, spreading the word of just peace, you know what I mean? And with that comes reward. Like I've had so many conversations similar to this on this podcast. It was the 200 something episode. Cool. I don't know what we're at, like 250 or close to that or something. I don't know. Yeah. But anyways, we've had so many of these conversations, and Josh has heard them too. And it's like, more often than not, someone who has a similar attitude to you is being successful in their life. Now, I've had the opposite conversations where we're not having this topic, never is brought up, and they're not doing so great mentally with certain things. I'm not saying they're not doing great in business or life or whatever, but there's some demons that have not been, released or fought or whatever. So, I mean, I'm a cheerleader for just everyone doing the right thing, man. And it's not I'm not going to try to beat one religion down someone's throat, or say one's worse than the other, or say this community of people's bad and this community of people's okay because they're in church or whatever, But I like your enthusiasm and I like your outlook, man. And I think that I respect you for that. And I think it's important, not only that you're standing by your beliefs and that you're sharing them with people. And it's obvious that you want a community of people to experience that with.
Yeah. And I just really want to get my, I just put my heart out there for context, you know. It's truly out of love and truly loving and accepting everybody. I don't agree. Like when you said just about accepting everybody, that's one of the biggest things in our company that we all live by, is just loving people. That's our biggest thing. It's like, let's just love people. Like there's so many people that show up to our races, they'll volunteer and stuff. We'll have two completely different beliefs, and it's just like, I still respect them as a person and love them. And so like, it's not a big deal. Yeah,
you're not here to talk about that. We're here with one common goal to have a successful event, and everyone be safe and have a good time. Like, that's right. Like, what does that other stuff have anything to do with this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But it always gets thrown in the mix, man. And a lot of it's just for, what's unfortunate is most of these conversations is just for someone else's entertainment, whether it be negative, or like whether it's they are projecting their negativity on someone, or they just want to get a rise out of someone because they enjoy that type of negativity. It's for someone. It's always just for some type of, I feel like, I don't know, man, just negative entertainment.
Yeah.
When people want to have these conversations, or people feel like they don't have a voice and they can have one there. And so they just, no matter what you say, it's like, dude, I could say this. Well, this gets taken out of context and I'm a racist. So I can say this and this, well, that's taken out of context and you're not a true Christian, you know, or you're not really good at CrossFit because you're bending your back too much and you're doing those, you know, muscle ups, or, you know, just whatever. Like there's always someone there talking shit, and typically it's because they have a problem and they just, that's where they feel like they have a little bit of clout as they can get on there and call someone else out because they're not willing to call themselves out.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the big things too is like when I do have conversations with people, I just tell them like, you know, I completely respect your position. And I had a kid one time at our church tell me straight up, like in our youth group, he told me straight up, he was like, I don't even believe in God. I was like, bro, I was like, thank you so much for telling me that. Like I respect that so much that you're so honest. Like we were in church and he didn't even believe in God. I was like,
but he's still there.
I was like, thank you for telling me. I was like, I just respect people's honesty. And then when people do have different beliefs or whatever, it's like, I completely respect them and love them as a person. It's like you can believe whatever you believe. You have free will. And so, but the point of going back to the point of that post starting in January is one of the cool things is a lot of people would see that and they would think you're hurting your business. It's going to go down.
Yeah.
Right. That's common knowledge. Right.
Yeah.
But it was crazy because 6 months later, our business is the biggest it's ever been. Our revenue literally tripled or quadrupled 6 months after doing that. So it's like a lot of people could look at that and be like, oh, you're posting your religious beliefs on your social media and everybody thinks it's hate. You're going to lose so much business and money. I looked at our numbers after that post and all of our revenue, participants, everything just grew.
Well, you're being authentic. And look, that term gets thrown around way too much. Because people, there's truth and authenticity, right? Mm. And 90% of people putting any content out aren't being honest, right? Mm. By you doing that, you're being honest and you're open, you're being vulnerable with everyone and saying, this is who I am, this is what I believe. Mm. And so, yeah, you're going to receive persecution, you're going to receive some clout, you're going to receive all those things. People are going to cheering you on, people are going to be talking crap, but like you're still being yourself, right?
Yeah.
Most of those people are talking crap are so upset because they don't have the guts to go on there and be their self. Whether it's they believe completely opposite of you or just they believe something, you know, aligned with you. So like, I feel like that's what we see all the time in anything when it comes to people putting out content is people say they're being authentic, but they're still hiring a cameraman right there. They're going on these trips and someone's following them constantly with the phone. Like they're not really being raw. You know what I mean? Mm. And there's just respect in that in this space now, because this space is constantly it's constantly evolving. Every 3 seconds, your attention is being drawn to something else. And if you can hold anyone's attention for longer than that, you're doing well. And I think the key to doing that is just to be real, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's the hack, bro. It's like the simplest answers are always the hardest things to do, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, get your diet in check, you will lose weight, you know? Mm-hmm. Run more, you will get faster. But people will look for all the weird shortcuts or don't want to admit the truly simple things, or just, I mean, the truly hard things are doing the simple things.
Yeah. When I came back from the Alex Ramosey's workshop in Las Vegas, my biggest takeaway was keep it simple, stupid.
What was your motivation to go see him?
So I followed him for a while, and obviously we don't have similar beliefs, but as far as his business advice goes, it's really good. So that's why I follow him. And I followed him for a while, and then I saw an ad on Facebook of him giving away like a free $100 million scale plan. And so I was like, yeah, I want that. Yeah. And so I clicked it, and I answered these questions, and then they called me. A salesman called me like 5 seconds later. I was like, I didn't get to check my email for the scale workshop thing. And a salesman calls me, and he's like, hey, you want to come to our workshop in Las Vegas for 2 days, and you get to see Alex, and you can, scale your business. I was like, sure. And then it's funny, they're really good. Obviously, they're going to be good salesmen. Because he was like, all right, what's your credit card information? I was like, I got to talk to my wife first. And he was like, oh, well, we can go ahead and get your information now. And then we have an event every week, so you could just change your date. And I was like, oh, this guy's good.
Yeah, he's
it's funny because they already asked you how much money you made and stuff. So, like, they know you have the money. Yeah. And then so there's no getting out of it because you can't be like, oh, I don't have the money, because you just told them how much you had. So it's a very good sales approach. The only way to get out of it is if you just hang up. But I paid the money, flew out to Vegas, and it was honestly all worth it because I'm going to make more money now. Literally, I went in there. and they kind of have like formulas for everything. It's pretty cool. And you fill out the sheet with all your numbers, and you get to work one-on-one with their team. So their team manages hundreds of millions of dollars worth of companies. So they'll have 20 to 50 companies, and each one's worth 20 to 100 million. So they manage a big portfolio of pretty large companies, and they grow those companies. And so you get to meet with them and their team and talk with them one-on-one. It's really cool. And my biggest questions going into it were like, what do I do? Because I have trail and ultra marathon races, and I have Outlast. Like, I feel stuck. Do I just scale? Do I focus on what works, make it better, and then scale? What do I do? How do I get more people to my events? And so it's funny because they'll give you the most simple answers, and you're like, duh, why didn't I think of that? It's like, what works the best in your business? Like, what brings in the most revenue?
Of course.
Okay, do that more. All right, how do you get people to buy that thing? Do that more. And then scale.
Yeah.
And it's like the most simple stuff. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Like, why didn't they? Were like, they
Well,
looked
because
at
they take the emotion out of it, right? Sometimes you need an unbiased opinion from people who know who are successful and have seen it before. I mean, sometimes you just need that. You knew the answer. You just need a little nudge from someone who's not.
Well, I was generally like scatterbrained when I went. I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like,
right.
I was thinking scale, go nationwide. They were like, no, double down, then scale.
Yeah, for sure. And I think
that was very valuable.
And I think the regional approach is the game. Like that's the best way. Any marketing I work with, whether it's hyperlocal people, regional companies, it's like, let's focus on the demographic you know everything about, and let's get our data from there, and then we'll take it and copy and paste it in another region. And you're already doing that. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And I got to learn a lot of cool things from their team that just kind of like new stuff. He just came out with his book, $100 million something, and it was the biggest selling book, got a Guinness Book of World Record thing. But anyways, he sold millions of this book. It was the biggest book launch in the world. And the marketing guy behind that, or the marketing team behind that, guess how big their marketing team was for that book launch that got a world record for the most sales? Guess how big the marketing team was?
Tell me, I have no idea.
One person.
I believe that.
One guy.
Yeah.
So anyways, this one guy, I talked to him because I was like, I got to talk to this guy. Because, they were saying, like, increase your ad spend. I was like, okay, like, I've done that before. It doesn't really do anything. So I went and talked to this guy. He was like, dude, you just got to make a bunch of different creatives with different pictures.
Yeah. You got to appeal to every demographic.
Yeah. He's like, just change it up, because if people see the same thing, their mind becomes blind to it, which that's a common marketing thing. If they see the same thing 20 times, eventually their mind just shuts it off. So you have to keep it different every time. And so I got back, and we're basically, for all of our advertising, we created 5 different ad images for every event we do, and then we're going to kind of rotate through that. So
nice.
And it, as you know, meta ads isn't. If you're my competitor, just click boost post. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. It's one of those things. It's like
people think it's boost posting. I'm like, that's not what it is.
No, it's different. You're targeting ads.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, yes. People, I've seen so many companies and individuals waste so much money clicking that, and they're like, it doesn't work. I was like, yeah, you're not doing it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so many people are like, it doesn't work, and
but look, it's different industries. There's different strategies for different industries. I have some that. And this is getting, I don't want to talk too much business, but I'll just give a little bit of trade secrets out. So you have different companies utilize different platforms. Yours is going to be great on social media, whereas I use a plumber, electrician, they're going to be better on Google. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's different platforms, and that's what fits it, and you double down on that platform. Yep. And that's just how it works. I have some that are more successful on LinkedIn, Like it just depends on who your audience is, and how those people are, not how they're receiving information, how are they making decisions. That's the biggest misconception there is people like, how do they receive their information? That's where you need to spend your money. No, where do they make their decisions at? Do they make their decisions on Facebook? Not about who they're calling for a plumber, probably. They may ask for suggestions, sometimes maybe, but a lot of times at spur of the moment, they're freaking out, it's an emergency, and they get on there and say, plumber near me ASAP, there's something leaking. You know what I mean? Yep. You're not going to do that on Facebook. You don't have time to wait to vet the right person, So it's how they make their decisions, and then you leverage wherever they make their decision at. Yep. And yeah, man, it's not rocket science, but once again, it's one of those things, like you said, keep it simple, man. Just go to where you know. Yeah. But so let's talk about, how many ultras have you ran?
I've ran a few. I've done some 50Ks. I did a a challenge where I carried a cross for 24 hours straight.
That's what they do for CrossFit. They do a crosswalk.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a 100-mile crosswalk. We do it every year.
Yeah.
They just did it last weekend.
Okay, cool.
And they just take off with the cross and they walk 100 miles. And they don't stop.
Cool.
And people just pass it off.
No, okay, cool. Yeah, that was one of the most recent ones. I did the Hotter and Hell 100-mile bike race.
So you do some bike too?
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't like training on the roads, but it was a good race. So I did some 50K ultra marathons, 100-mile bike race, and I did 40 miles with the cross, no wheels on it, just drugging on it. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Yeah, that was a rough time. It's on YouTube. And then this year I want to try to do 100K, and then hopefully I'm gonna try to run the Arkansas Traveler 100-mile race in October next year.
Okay.
That's my goal. We'll see. Because we're going to be traveling, growing the business and stuff.
So what's you mentioned that too. So what's your next, what region are we talking about next?
Southeast. So there's a lot of weather factors.
That's a good choice, I think, for you, especially being the hills and the mountains and all that stuff.
Yeah, we're thinking, southeast part of the U.S. But just kind of popping up a bunch of.
We're talking about like Tennessee, like South Carolina, like those areas. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do that. And put on some Outlast events out there and just double down on that. So
nice.
Right now we're like in the middle of like testing growth of like, so we came back from the conference and I kind of tested some of the stuff they said to see if it would work, and it seems like it is. So, but yeah, it was a good sell from Alex Hermosi, the workshop, because we're on track to double our revenue next year. So.
It's been on my list to go see Gary Vee. I always loved him. Look, he's ridiculous, but I respect him because he's the reason I started this podcast in like 2019. Because he was just telling everyone, start a podcast.
Yep.
And I was like, screw it, I'll do it. I'll build my business on the back of it. It quickly turned into not that. I thought this was going to be a business podcast, and it really isn't. But there's still a lot of business professionals that come on here, but we're not talking about business the whole time. We're just talking about real stuff like you and I've talked about. Mm-hmm. And so he's been on my list to go see, just because I'd probably leave there and start 2 more businesses, and I don't think I'm mentally ready for that yet.
One of the big things they talked about this workshop is they say once you get to the $1 million mark in your company, they say you start to become almost like a squirrel. You start looking around, trying to start other things. Mm-hmm. They were like, don't do it. Yeah. They said focus on what you have, because that's going to grow bigger and faster than if you go start something new.
Oh, 100%.
And so that was one of the things is people that get to $1 million in business, it's very common. It's a statistical thing where they'll go and try to start something new, or in their own business, they'll create a second business, unless it works like Outlast did. But usually you just want to double down on what you have, what works. In my case, it was a little, I don't know, there's always exceptions, right? But so that was one of the things was like, stick to the business you have and grow that. Don't go start other stuff. Yeah,
I have 4 right now, so like I'm stretched. But it's one of those things where it's like, we have a catering business that was started as like a secondary business when everything was slow post-COVID. Marketing, everything was tanked. We kept the business afloat. We kept doing marketing, but I wasn't getting any new clientele. And I was like, well, I can cook on the weekends. I do barbecue. Yep. Next thing I know, I have a whole business. Well, Josh works with me. He does all the video stuff, but he also was a chef. Met another chef buddy. And we're like, let's do meal prep. So now we have a meal prep leg of that business, right? Yep. And then I still have an equipment rental business over here that's part of oil and gas that I've been with forever. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't have any more attention for things, but at the same time, my heart's still always in marketing. Like that's I'll never leave it, and also you can apply that to any business you do. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's one of those things where if I start something else, it would probably be more like, oh, I'm going to coach or consult or something. Cause it's just like, man, I can't rightfully do any type of administration or management of anything else anymore.
That's something I'm actually getting into, kind of dabbling in. I'm not starting a new business, but is consulting. Yeah. So I get so many messages every week about, hey, let's do an event together. Yeah. Let's do a race for this charity. Yeah. Like all this stuff. And I do a few of those, but I can't say yes to everything. I only have so much bandwidth, right? So I get it. I've gotten to where now, I've had multiple people that I've just consulted. Like they've called me on the phone and I'm like, all right, this is what you need to do. I'll send them over my checklist, whatever. I've gotten to where now it's like, I'm pretty much this point forward as of a week ago. I actually pitched a guy on a consulting service a week ago because he wanted to do races, and I was like, dude, I don't have the time because I'm like,
no, you got to pay me, bro.
I gotta focus on.
Yeah. If you're taking away from this, I need to be receiving conversation. And I'm the same way now. It's like we do a lot of event stuff that's tied with marketing. It's like if people hire me to whether it's come out and run a car show or help them manage a barbecue competition or whatever, I'm charging you, man. I can't do it for free anymore. Like it's taking me away from something else. That means I'm losing money, so I got to make it up somewhere else, you know. And also, it's like once I feel like if you're calling you for advice, it's because they respect you and know that you know what to do.
Yep.
And they're not willing, or maybe they're not willing, or they don't want to put in all the work, the hard work that it takes to fail a bunch of times. They want a successful event, so they're reaching out to you instead of trying to. They're trying to fast track that. Well, that costs money to do so, you know.
Yeah, it took me 3 years to figure it out.
Exactly, it's taken me almost 10, and I'm still learning new things every day in business. You know what I mean, with everything I have going on. So like it's a constant grind, and one of those things is like. People want the cheat code. Well, I'll help you, bro, but it's going to cost you a little bit, you know? And I feel bad about that with nonprofit stuff too, but there's always something I can work out. I'm not saying I'm going to charge you thousands of dollars, but at the same time, like, hey, what's mutually beneficial for us? Then I can help you, you know?
Yeah.
Because I only have so much time.
Yeah. That's kind of where I've gotten. I'm just like gotten to where now I haven't officially started nothing yet or anything, but like,
well, you should, man. And I think it's a good idea. Like you said, that's just another thing. It's like, do you see those DMs keep coming in asking for help? Okay, well, that's a sign there's probably a missed opportunity to make money right there.
Right.
And you're giving them what they asked for anyways.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I have the formula. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a formula. It's a plug and play formula. It's just like you do the stuff and then it works, right? So I have the formula. So if someone wants to start an event or something like that, I'll give them pieces sometimes. But I'm getting to where now it's like I'm going to offer like, hey, I'll work for you. I'll work with you for like 2 full days, tell you everything, and then you take it and run. And then if you want me to, on the back end, run ads for you so you don't have to try to figure that out, we'll do that.
Right.
So, because it's very easy for me to run ads.
Because you've done it enough.
Yeah. It's funny because we actually hired somebody just 2 weeks ago to take over marketing and administration in the company. And I'm teaching our ads and stuff right now. And, it's a learning curve. But once you figure it out, it's just like you can just pop them out.
Yeah, that's what we do all day, every day, man, for all different businesses. It's just learning the industry, and then every single area is different. And you have to learn that area. You know, you can't just jump in and do the same thing. Statistically, you can. It's a volume game, but at the same time, there's different demos in different areas. You got to make sure you're not targeting the wrong area because those people don't spend money, or might be your target market. There's all that stuff.
We're running like 5 to 10 different images per location.
Yeah.
We run an ad. And it's cool because Meta will automatically kind of put out there what works best for you. Like, you know this, but like you set your ad budget to however much money, and then Meta will take those 10 ads and kind of put more resources, put more money towards the ones that gets the most clicks and the most views. And so,
dude, I started marketing in 2015. Facebook Business Platform came out that year.
Really?
And there was none of those things.
Yeah.
When I tell you that it was like running an old school mail it. Like we would physically find information, physically find users, and it would take you to build a great campaign 10 to 12 hours in social media. You can build an excellent one now within an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's how far it's come along, and AI has helped a lot with that. Collecting data, millions and billions of users have giving that data to those social platforms have helped that too, you know?
Yeah.
So yes, dude, it's crazy what it used to be and what it is now, man. And same thing with Google. Google's gotten very good too, but it's the thing, you would spend 20 hours to set up a Google campaign. Now you can set up a really good one in probably 6, which is still a long time, but if you consider all the variants and all the different campaigns, I mean, you take social media, like you take a Facebook Meta ad and you multiply that by like 100, and that's what you're going to get with Google. You know, as far as like different variants, ad variants, and different platforms, and pre-rolls, and video, and static images, and impressions, and all that.
We're probably running, I think, within the next 6 months, we'll be running 250 to 500 different ad images.
That's what's
creative ad images.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you guys, so before we wrap, tell me a little bit more. Anything else, like what you have coming up? We went over the schedule a little bit. What's like you said you're planning on expanding here soon.
Yeah.
What is like? Do you have any feedback for people? Like, have you received any like praise, concerns, like anything like that? from previous racers or people wanting to know more information or just any of that?
Yeah, we've been getting a ton of praise. One of the big things I focus on at our events is making sure each individual has a really good time. Like, that's our focus, and if they don't, we failed. So, I'm really big all about doing the little things right. And then we get a lot of praise from obviously other Christians that are like, "Oh, this is a Christian company."
Yeah.
Like, I literally read a post yesterday that was like just praising us because we're a Christian company. He's a Christian. He just loved that. So, but yeah, we put on, I think, close to 50 events a year right now. And then if I go add on in the Southeast, it'll be about 60 or 70 events in a year. So it'll be a lot. But we got all kinds of events, man. We got anything from a 5K to a last person standing to a 100-mile race to Outlast.
Where's that last person standing one at?
It's up north of Dallas. It's on Lake Texoma, on like the Texas-Oklahoma border, just north of Dallas.
Cool. I definitely can get some people signed up for that.
It's called the Backland.
Okay.
The Backland, yeah. And registration opens for that February 1st at 8 p.m. and it sells out. So.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get my people.
Yeah.
We've already signed up for another high rock. When is the race?
The race is December. It's the first Saturday of December.
So you're booking first Saturday of December. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
And you're booking that out that far.
Yeah, so registration opens February 1st.
How many races do you take?
We only take 60.
Okay.
60 people.
Got you.
Yeah. It used to be 30, but
is it just because like you only have so much room or the trail or?
Yeah, it's a bunch of things. It's just, that's the 60 is kind of the max we can handle right now. And then also that race is very much a grassroots feel race, and so like we purposely don't want that one to be huge.
Yeah.
We want to keep it kind of small because we've had we literally handed out a patch to somebody that's done it 4 years in a row. So we got a lot of returners. We handed out like 5 patches to people that ran it 4 years or 3 years in a row. And so that one's a very grassroots small field race, and if you get it too big, it'll take away from that. So that one we kind of keep intentionally like.
What's
small.
the limit on the? Is it you said it's 4.1,
4.5 miles.
4.5 miles
in under an hour.
Under an hour.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, I mean
elevation, or is it just?
It's cool because it's a mix of everything. It's a mix of paved road, trail, wide trail, single track trail. It literally has everything you can ask for on a course.
I would make
and
that
it's
one.
Not super hilly. It's not like what you got out here.
Yeah, I would make that, bro. That one might make it like 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, if we create the Outlast Ultra, you come out and try to run a 5K every hour for either 12 hours or 24 hours.
That would be a goal. That would be something we would jump all over. And I think it's a good move too, because you're not going to have near as many contestants sign up as the regular, but correct. I still think you'll have those people that don't want to mess with the regular one that'll go ahead and say, I'm going to do this one now.
Yeah, we tested the 12-hour format, so we did a 12-hour, like a 5K every hour for 12 hours in Memphis, and then we're testing it in Nacogdoches right now.
Okay.
The one in Nacogdoches is in February, but the 12-hour just doesn't seem to be getting a lot of attention. So we were originally thinking, every event will do a 6 and 12-hour. Well, no, that 12-hour doesn't get that much attention, so we're going to just stick to the 6-hour for the majority.
Yeah.
But then offer 1 or 2 races a year.
I think it's a good move.
That's 12 to 24 hours.
Yeah, I think that's a good
So
move.
that way, if you do the 6-hour, you can be like, oh man, can I do the 12? Can I do the 24? And then we'll make the medal just twice as big for each one. So by the 24, you'll get one, that's a foot long.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I got the one in my truck right now, bro. The Outlast. I'm leaving it in my truck too. I'm looking at it every day, man.
Yeah.
Because that's just every time we do something, it's like, this is the hardest thing I've done. That's the hardest thing I've done. That was one of the hardest things I've done because my body wouldn't let me do anymore. It's not that I couldn't keep going. It's like my body's like, nope, you're done.
Yeah, people don't realize in that event that your legs lock up when you stop and don't run for 30 minutes.
That's why I was like, my first lap was 40, second was 45, third was 45. Then I was 50 in the fourth.
You were close.
Yeah. And then by the time the 6 came around, dude, I was 58 minutes.
Golly.
Like I just lost it.
You were 2 minutes from not making it.
Yeah, I lost it. And they were yelling, and I was like, dude, I can't physically run. Like I'm like dragging a leg, my calves are cramping, my quads are cramping. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're gonna have to do the Toughest Nails Stadium Challenge, bro, if you can. It's in June. I don't have a date yet, but it's right here, and it's dude, every 20 minutes, a mile of stadiums. Like,
shoot me a text.
It's brutal, bro, but it's a CrossFit Gym puts it on. It's a good cause. It's something, we'll start out with 20 or 30 people, and it'll just dwindle down to 1.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I want to do it.
Yeah. Well, any shout outs or anything before we wrap, bro?
shout out to the Texas Outlaw team.
Yeah.
I have a great team, man. We got so many good people on our team.
I bet your team when we were out there and I was there, yeah, they were all great, extremely
Yeah.
nice. I thought y'all put it together well. They told me what had happened the weekend before, and I was like, dude, the fact that y'all are, because they were like, we had nicer tents and we had we don't have our scoring system and all that. I'm just like, y'all, you made it work and it was a successful event, you know. So I wouldn't have known any different had you not told me, you know.
Yeah. I mean, these things are getting up to 400 or 500 people. I mean, yours was 100. It's pretty manageable. So shout out to the team and obviously my wife, who's the number one sidekick. So, but yeah.
Awesome. So, thanks, man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thanks for the time.
All right, man.